Okay, so for our video today, we'll be looking at simultaneous equations, but the substitution method. If you haven't learned the elimination method, I would advise you to learn the elimination method before learning the substitution method. And the link to our video on the elimination method is in the description below. So for the substitution method, what you do is, you want to substitute one value of x or y, or I mean the value of x or y, into the second equation. So let's call this our first equation, and let's call this our second equation. So what you want to do is you want to make x the subject in one equation, or y the subject in one equation, and substitute that value of y into the second equation. So in this case, let's try substituting a value of x or y in the first equation. So let's write it down. So the 2x plus y is equal to 12. So 2x plus y is equal to 12. Now you can already see that it will be easy if we make y the subject. So we take 2x to the other side. And when you take 2x to the other side, it changes its sign from positive to negative. So y will be equal to 12 minus 2x. That's our value of y. Now this value of y works for both equations since they're simultaneous equations. Remember I said in our first video that the value of x in the first equation is equal to the value of x in the second equation, and the value of y in the first equation is equal to the value of y in the second equation. So in this case we have that y is equal to 12 minus 2x from the first equation. Now you don't substitute this back into the first equation. Since we got the value of y from the first equation, we substitute the value into the second equation. It's always the opposite. So let's write the second equation here. 3x plus 2y will be equal to 19. 3x plus 2, the value of y is 12 minus 2x. 12 minus 2x, that's equal to 19. Now the reason 2 is multiplied by y is because when you write 2y, there's a small multiplication sign between the 2 and y, which is 2 times y. So 2 times y is equal to 2y. So essentially, our y has to be multiplied by 2. The whole of y, which is 12 minus 2x, has to be multiplied by 2. So now our new equation, let's call this our third equation, will be 3x plus 12 times 2 is 24 minus 4x. It will be equal to 19. Let's call this our third equation. Let's write it down here again. So 3x plus 24 minus 4x will be equal to 19. So our first step here is to connect like terms. So to collect like terms, we put the numbers with the x on this side and the ones without x on this side. So what will remain on this side will be 3x minus 4x, which will be equal to 19 minus 24. This will give us negative x, which will be equal to negative 5. And to get the positive version of x, we'll divide both sides by negative 1. This will give us x is equal to 5. And to get the second part, or the second variable of this equation, we'll substitute 5 into this equation. So let's write the equation. 2x plus y will be equal to 12. Our x is 5, so this will replace this. Substitute that. So it'll be 2 times 5 plus y, which will be equal to 12. So 10 plus y will be equal to 12, and y will be equal to 12 minus 10. Y will be equal to 2. Hence our final answer would be x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 2.